Hello Chipsters, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. This one's a bit impromptu. I'm just started work on the Badger and it's the only time I've been working on it this week, to be honest with you. So I was looking ahead to next week and I thought, I keep saying there's going to be an update on the Badger, there's going to be an update on the Badger. And I just can't see with getting commissions painted and that where I was going to fit this particular video in. Because I've got to do a bit of painting on the motorbike again tomorrow. That's starting to drag me down a bit now. Lots of stop start, and it's I didn't realise just how hard it was. Not so much hard, I suppose not hard, but time consuming. Little fiddly bits all needing to be painted, sometimes a different colour, and start with the airbrush. It's getting a bit of a nightmare, but I'll get it finished. I'll see it through, but it's not the shine off it a bit for me. I don't rush at things, and as I say, because of all the commissions, I'm on a fresh commission now that I'm painting, which is behind from the last commission. I'm just trying to get enough done. So you put that in and into the mix, and obviously I'm painting a bust as well at the moment, the United States Marine Corps Vietnam War bust, which you'll see in the week. Only pouches being painted so far in the belt, but hey, it's an update. So yeah, it's just trying to get this one in. Not that I've been enjoying this. It's just as usual with all of us that do too much. Let's face it, there are many of us out there that have, whether it's a whole bunch of kits or in my case, I've got 2 builds on the go, a bust that I'm painting, a commission that I'm painting, and I've also got a couple of 28mm Vietnam War figures that I'm also finishing off. I've got a 1 in 35 scale that I have to do this week. It was supposed to be last week. I've noticed on Jason's latest monthly update that he's actually started work on his Tiger and a bit of his diorama stuff, so I need to get that one done. And if I hadn't been holding it back for a painting video and finding the time for that video, it would have been done. So yeah, that's got to be painted. I just wanted to do a quick, because people sometimes say, oh, you do some nice faces and skin and all that stuff, and it's mainly that more than the rest of it. I just wanted to show you the colours I use in case you want to use them. Right, let's go down to the bench and take a look at the Badger. Right guys, sorry if the bench is a bit messy. I really have to change this cutting mat, but to be honest with you, this is going to be about 10 years old, this cutting mat now, but it's more the glue and stuff. And what happens is I put my figures down on the bottle tops. I'm painting for commission and I catch a piece of glue and they almost fall over. And anyway, you didn't want to know that really, did you? Right, where are we? Yeah, I might as well use this sanding stick. So it's a big old beast. Sorry for a second. Yeah, it's a big old beast, as you can see. I'm hopefully today I'm putting stowage bins on and probably get round to doing these these hatch covers. It's empty inside, there's absolutely nothing, so there's no point. I believe in keeping them open you'd have to make yourself up some little standing points if you're going to put figures in them, say, and even then you might see past them to the emptiness inside. So I'm boxing all this up. I'm putting a cable reel on, comms reel on the back today as well. Probably this hatch cover at the back as well. I decided last week to put that all in one and paint round it, rather than try and paint it separately. Left some of the seams showing because they are obviously welded 2 halves put together. I do like the detail on this, the boltage. Steve Jones is doing a Scorpion tank for the 40th anniversary of the Falkland Islands campaign, and or the War in the Falkland Islands, whichever you want to put it. Falklands War even. And he was showing a lot. He always, not always, but he goes a lot for the aftermarket stuff, because he really, he likes to convert his to different things, and he's doing this Scorpion, and it's going to be one that obviously being done for the Falklands War, and he got a lot of aftermarket resin in that, and I just didn't. Some of it, he said, "Oh, it's not so great, this resin," and not always. There's some bits were better than others, and I just thought, for me, I mean, Steve's got no choice on that one. It's an older kit, and he's got to convert it to what he needs to convert it to. But it's just, I just think sometimes I looked at it and I'm thinking that's a lot of investment for stuff that's not, you can't really, that's no real that much better than converting a bit of the kit originally. Yeah, so we've got things like this, these couple of gaps here. Let's see if we've got something thinner than which use our knife here. We've got a couple of gaps here. Very slight gap, which will just need a bit of putty down that side, but not a lot. I look at that, and it's obviously you haven't got a real, well, the Conqueror tank that this is based on is a real tank. We only made about 170 of them in the late 40s, early 50s, and I think they withdrew them from service in the late 60s when the Chieftain came in, and they never saw combat. They were used in the British Army of the Rhine. And the idea of this fella is it's designed as a tank destroyer, no turret, but on all the running gear and everything's a Conqueror, and you actually get all the parts to make most of the parts to make a Conqueror up in the box. You get a stack of stuff that you're not going to use, but it's a really nice kit. I've made a couple of stuff ups as I always do, but I've been enjoying it. It's just obviously because I've been doing the 2 builds, it's just taken a bit longer to do than I would have liked. I could not get this to fit any better, no matter how I tried. So that's got to be, as you can see there, there's some little nuts holding on the frame there, but that sits above it, and it's all that was a bit iffy, but because I'm not a great builder, I can't guarantee that that's not my stuff up, but I can't see how I could have done any different. I mean, it fits in there's a little peg in there and that, so that's not a great fit, but I'll put some filler around there, so that shouldn't be too bad. I've left these injection pin marks on. I decided not to be a masochist about it. You are not going to see any of that. It's got 2 lots of skirts, go from there to there, and then from there further down. So you're just never going to see that. And I'm normally one for do everything. It's. But I thought no, let's just stick to what's being seen. And Gav's done it again. Left the sound on his computer. Apologise for that. That's Jeff. From Jeff's Model Garage, trying to video bomb my own video. Cheers, Jeff. Yeah, I've left the lenses out of these because I just thought it'd be easier to spray them as I'm spraying them, and then put the lenses on afterwards. The photo etch was quite easy to work with. There's things like this extra reinforcing piece here, when the gun barrel's going to be, but that's going to have a mantlet over the top, so although it looks a bit iffy there, I presume it's got like a pig's head mantlet that's going to go over the top of that. Anything else that I need to really talk about? This was a bit of a pain around this side, the stowage basket here. It didn't help that I'd stuck things on the wrong side, as usual, but I found it was easier to take the locating pins off here and actually glue it directly to the side of the tank. The good thing with this being a paper tank is you can get away with moving stuff around that nobody can really throw stones at you for. I've tried to make that as straight. It's not completely straight, this stowage bin. The problem was I didn't want it sticking up particularly high above this side here. As you can see, there's pins, there's 2 marker pins here for it. What else was I going to say? Yeah, you can see how they've got some some lengthening bolts. They've even put the little bolt heads on the top where my finger is there, but that's all fairly secure. This fire extinguisher I'm now going to have to tidy up the side because it was originally on another way. That should actually go on the side of this bin. You can see I've tried to stick it here, but there was no way it was going to go in straight with this being so close. So I've mounted it again round the side. You know, I just thought to myself, well, got to be somewhere where the crew can grab it fairly quick. So I've put her there. There's nothing there at the moment there. I think that's about everything really. As I say, there's been some of my own stuff-ups on it, as usual. It wouldn't be Gav if it wouldn't be. There is some faint... It's a bit weird because you get some... weld marks like this here, and then you don't get any. Sorry, further down. There's no weld marks there at all. So what I am going to be doing with this is, I'm not sure if these are supposed to be flame cut or not. I'd looked at a few Conquerors to see if they had flame cut them. I don't believe they did, but it almost is crying out for some flame cut marks down the side there, and then some welds just to give it some more texture look. But what I will be doing with this, I can't work out if they've put a texture on this or if it's just a plastic itself. But I'll be texturizing all this as well, all the bits I can get to. I had thought, Gav, should you not have textured it all and then try to fit these on? And I thought, no, I'm not night shift, not at the moment. Probably not for another 20-30 years, and by then I'll be going up the chimney. So yeah, I'll be putting some texture in there. I can still get in there to buff it down a bit. So it'll be textured around the main fighting compartment and the sides here, which will be like more like slabbed armour. I doubt I'll do any texture, and there's a lot of stuff to go on this anyway, because that would be more the mild steel. So I'll probably leave these off. I'm not doing any damage to these wings, to these, what do you call them, mudguard wings. So I've always said this, I'm not sure, I know the Americans call them fenders on tanks as well, and I hear a lot of British lads calling them on tanks fenders, but it's not normally something we'd say in the UK. So I've always wondered, are these fenders on a British tank, or are they mudguards, which we'd normally say, or wings on the wings of a car again, which we'd normally say. So I'm not sure. But yeah, and this will have, this one's empty, it'll have a turret on this one. From the top of the Conqueror had an individual rotating turret on the top of the turret for the commander, and they've put it on this. So you can either have it on or have it off, whichever you want, but I'm going to put it on just for more interest. And there's going to be a massive, great big barrel going on there as well. Luckily that isn't metal. So yeah, at the moment I'm just building up stowage bins to go on the other side. Whatever I can get done really between the next 2 or 3 hours. But it's all nice, you know. There's nothing. The only thing I'd say probably not against it is on the sprues. Some of the sprue attachments can be quite chunky. But apart from that, you know, some of the gaps, the few gaps that there are on here might be down to me. You can see around here, you know, I'll have to see how much. I'll have to look at the instructions again, see how much that's going to be covered over by these armoured sides. And if not, I'll have to obviously stick some filler in there. But yeah, I'm quite happy. So, sorry that's a bit of a rambly, I wasn't really sure whether to put this one up, you know, do a video on this or not, just because, as I say, there isn't a lot. I've done all the wheels. I did show you those I think before, so I'm not going to get them all out now, but all the wheels are sorry, they're not painted. All the suspension parts have made up and all that stuff. I've just put this little horn on here. There is a slight hole in the back, so I can't work out if it's just that's not exactly very strong, is it? But yeah, if it does go off, I shall be putting a little wire at the back of that going in as well. But yeah, it's going to be a big old presence, you know, on the shelf when it's done. When it's done. So look after yourselves, guys. Let's get that bit more in focus. Yeah, what else have we got coming up? So we've got the Vietnam bust. I'm just going to show you the work I've done on the pouches and stuff in the next couple of days, and the belt. We've got probably a few videos this week. We've got a Napoleonic Commission update, 28mm. We've got a Confederate 28mm update, just showing the painted figures before I work away out of basing them at some stage. One other thing. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Let's just see if we can zoom right out. No, that's zooming. No. Oh, well, that's as much as we're going to get. So this is going to be good. I got me one of these. Had to. Slava Ukraini. Glory to Ukraine. It's the Ukrainian version of the Austin armoured car, and it's what they call the 3rd series. So the Russians imported these, and then they built also them up in kit form as well before the fall of the Tsarist Russia, and then the Bolsheviks taking over, and then obviously the Bolshevik infighting, and funny enough fighting over Ukraine again, and Georgia, and obviously all these other places. I was just going to get one of these. I was going to get one of these when they come out, because I was going to get the British version, because I like the British in the Great War, First World War, and I did fancy getting this when it came out, and then I got nervous, as I usually do with a lot of mini art kits, because they're very fine attachment points, and I just tend to stuff them all up. So I'm hoping that these guys can get their factory up and running at some stage, and that's what we're all hoping for. Some of the Ukrainian model companies are still either getting them out their old stocks, or they're maybe even to carry on building them. They are. I've not heard Mini Art doing that, although they have got a modern Ukrainian APC that's on the CAD drawings at the moment, and I'm firmly hoping they get that up and running, because I'll definitely buy in that, because I do like modern armour. Yes, and I've got Great War. The only thing that's intriguing me at the moment is, I take it that folds down, because I have no idea where the drivers are seeing out of that. But yeah, that's going to be built in the next few months. Dan over at 60 Rules channel is doing the Ukrainian build, but there's no way, with what I'm doing, there is no way I'm ever going to get that done and built in a couple of months. So I'm just not even going to attempt it. The other model I've got on the go, obviously I forgot we've got 3 actually, because we've got the egg plane build. That's going along fine. Took it all off the sprue, stuck what I could do together. I've got to spray the inside of the cockpit tomorrow, because I'm spraying yet more motorbike pieces tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully there'll be a motorbike update as well, and blooming heck, will be almost a video every day this week. Right, that's it. I think so. So yeah, Gav's got himself, he's followed what people said and got himself a Ukrainian kit. As I say, we just hope that, I can't believe it, I'm looking at that copyright 2020. Look what's happened still. Right, look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other on one of those many videos to come very soon. Cheers.